Hey guys, just going live. Hello. Going live again. Right on the heels of my last video. And I wanted this live to be about some of the major events that have occurred in this last, I don't know, maybe we'll make it, since the pandemic. So, I think I'm going to go back further. So I'm going to start with the prevention of pole shift in 2012. So 2012, December 21st, 2012, which was hailed right as this massive shift. And it certainly was in many ways. On the night of December 20th, 2012, the Guardian teams uh, did a prevention of pole shift because the Anunnaki on the planet Nibiru were attempting to collapse the Jerusalem Stargate. So there was major damage control going on while this massive celebration was happening in other parts of the world. So many people were like, yes, 2012, December 21st, awesome. While the Guardian teams were flat on their backs, preventing pole shift, which was intense. I'm not going to describe the exact event, but this is definitely one for the books. If you have any curiosity, just comment and I'll send you my entire blog on it. Pretty wild. It was pretty wild. So that was 2012. Then in 2013, on January 6th, we anchored what's called the crystal star. So there was a crystal net architecture anchored. Because not only did we prevent pole shift, but we actually, through the crisis and the opportunity of the attack from Nibiru, we were able to, crisis and opportunity are such the I Ching, right? Crisis is opportunity in the I Ching. That's literally what it means. And so when there's a greater threat, then we get in touch with more of our teams that can open us deeper into the God world, which actually assists in bringing a whole new upgraded template to the earth, which is what happened. So we brought in the crystal star. And I think I'm going to write this in the description right after I do this live so that you have these events written down. So crystal star anchored in 2013, January 6th. And 2013 was a year of rehabilitating the Stargates. We in the Guardian teams, every single month we had a Stargate repair, starting with our first Stargate in January, our second Stargate, right? And then in December, we were in our 12th Stargate in Kaui. So the whole year of 2013 was Stargate repair. And there are many, many other things. In 2013, I remember in October of 2013, there was a great battle that was opening a portal to the Akhenaten timeline. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Akhenaten, but Akhenaten was one of the great and beautiful kings in Egypt, ancient Egypt, and he was attempting to help his people ascend. And he built these beautiful architectures, and he was Nefertiti was his wife. And the ascension failed. It was a super sad event. It was one of those events that just rippled through the time fields with such sorrow. And in October of 2013, we revisited that timeline in a major way. And any of the dark portals and the pain from that timeline was pouring out in October 2013. It was really a tremendous time of cleansing and changing of timelines. Now, in 2014, that year was pretty dedicated to the healing of the rod function, which is the archangelic masculine, which is called the golden eagle grid on Earth. So we did a lot of repair on the masculine rod function. Now we know the staff function of the planet is the feminine. And the rod function is the masculine. So that was a year of really rebuilding the rod. And we anchored the Sophianic template. There was a real awakening of the Sophianic, the feminine principle in the earth in February of 2014. And that was beautiful indeed. Oh, and let's see, moving through 2014. So I want to jump to 2015 because in 2015, the Taurian constellation in the zodiac was connected to the Earth body. Now, the Earth body, think of the Earth body as kind of sleeping in a coma as the Earth is pre-awakened, right? So think of this body as the 12 tree grid of the Earth, which is kind of laying down in a coma. And think of it in a hospital where there's all these IVs. These IVs are connected to the planets in the zodiac, right? And these planets in the zodiac, originally we had all of these power points on Earth, which connected us directly to the stars in the zodiac, so that there was this great planetary link of starlight infusion on all 12 points of the zodiac. So can you picture this, a time when the Earth was this thriving ascended being, and she was connected to all the stars in the zodiac as these great feeder tubes of multidimensional celebration. Let's say it like that. And of course, the Earth under the fear-based tyranny is like in a coma, and her IVs are all ripped out. So what was amazing is that in May of 2015, the first IV was hooked up in the Taurian constellation. And we've been hooking up those star configurations to the Earth body since then. But the big thing about May 2014 is that was the initiation of the first hookup. It was a very exciting time. We've been, like I said, we've been bringing in and hooking up more and more. The Guardian teams have been doing grid work to bring in more and more of those IVs. Did I say 2014? I'm sorry, we're in 2015. May of 2015 is when the Taurian constellation got its IV hookup to the body of the Earth. Okay, so moving forward, 2015 was a powerful year because there was a glimpse of the new transharmonic universe. In the end of September 2015, it was as if Earth in Andromeda gave us a glimpse of the higher self of the Earth. It was a beautiful opening, and I was told by Lisa that we actually birthed a new universal matrix through that window. I don't know exactly what that means. That's pretty bizarre. A lot of this stuff might seem bizarre. I'm just needing to go back and really look at how far we've come. Okay, so then, just thinking back now, the next big event is 2016 that I can see. In April of 2016, the Guardian teams changed the staff position of the Earth to align more fully into her mother in Andromeda, moving away from the Polaris alignment toward the Vega alignment, just a little bit, toward the Cygnus. Cygnus is the mid alignment, and then Vega is our ascended alignment of planet Earth, our pole, right? Because we know in science from the obliquity of the ecliptic, which is 23.5 degrees, well, that's a manipulated harnessing of the Earth. And so to go back to Ascension, she has to straighten her staff position. So this was a radical piece of grid work. I could link my video. You could search Kaui grid work. Sarah Adams music, Kaui grid work, or it might be Sarah Sparkle's Ascension updates, Kaui grid work. This was intense. we really had to deal with a lot of forces that were not wanting this to happen. And we went in and unplugged a ton of artificial intelligence implants throughout the network of the global brain of the Earth. And I was in like sort of a trance state while the teams were in my body unplugging all this stuff. It took about 2.5 hours. And this happened on April 12th, right before the full moon in April of the year 2016. So this was huge, huge. Changed the timelines, prevented cataclysm. Very, very important event, April 12th, 2016. So now let's move up into 2017. So 2017 was a year when we were leading up to actually move into a new transharmonic universe. Now you could think, oh, it doesn't look like anything good happened in 2017. That's when some of the biggest earth changes, the fires and the earthquakes and, crazy stuff. But that actually all started to increase because we did move into a new transharmonic universe. So it was December 27th, 2017, that a whole new architecture, the Earth, moved into an entirely new trajectory. And that was a very powerful. 2018 was just moving into 2018 now. As I'm sensing 2018, there was an attempt of a massive group of walk-ins that were going to come in 2018 and raise the frequency of the planet. But it failed. The walk-ins bounced. They could not get in. And I was, Jason Estes was confirming this actually, even after I talked about it way back in 2018. So it was sad. It was kind of sad how many failed to get in 2018. But they learned how to walk in. And right now, the final team of this big wave of master souls that started to come in August 15th, they're completing a successful walk-in mission. So now we really are seeing the raising of the vibration of the Earth, right? So this is 2018, big failure there, big challenge. And it's interesting as I feel back in 2018, I'm sure I could look back in my blogs and find a lot more, but I'm just kind of skimming over things. So in 2019, let's skip to the big 2019. So the new Earth was conceived as the coronavirus was accepted as a contract to turn the tables for humanity, to steer us deeper into the light, to disconnect business as usual on the earth and in consciousness so that we could actually go through a higher heart upgrade into universal love that would not have been possible. We had two choices, the coronavirus or a world war. And you can see that the coronavirus is kind of like a world war, the amount of division and pain that it's caused and the amount of deaths, right? So all the souls that weren't going to be part of this next level evolution had to have an exit point for them to move on so that the earth could really take only those that were ready for this next level of light. And so that's what this contract did. And I felt the earth, the new earth, literally being conceived on the night of November 27th, 2019. And that's like right when the coronavirus was in China, coming in to the earth grid. So we can see that this incredible birth, this death and rebirth of this huge, like vector crucible of transformation that has been this timeline that we're in now. And we're still, I've been hearing sources say that it'll be till November of this next year, 2022, till we're really beyond this timeline. So What an incredible time. What an unbelievable time. Now let's fast forward to 2020, because 2020 was an amazing year. It was a very painful year. It was a very traumatic year, but it was an incredible year for the light. And the biggest event that happened in 2020 was our Jupiter, Saturn, was it Pluto too? I know it was Jupiter and Saturn alignment on the solstice of 2020. And this was a huge date in the history of planetary ascension, because this is the date that the God worlds were literally called back to bring us through the last layers of ascension. This is when Holy Mother and Holy Father started coming in, really getting in here. Was December of 2020. And then the golden solar dragons started coming back, the dragon grids in the earth coming online, the healing of the Van Allen belt to allow positive polarity and negative polarity to merge from the north and the southern hemisphere. We haven't seen the fruit of that healing yet. I guess it just hasn't been time. I think that's going to be really intense for the people and the planet if we do that prematurely. But we are set up to have a real awakening of the emerald heart of the earth, really, really coming in. And the emerald Ankh architecture came in July of 2021. Wait, yeah. So this is after 2020. This year in July, the real architecture from our divine blueprint, from our God world, started being able to really come in and support us as a result of the alignment on December 21st, 2020. And so now we're coming pretty much up to where we are now, July, August, September. The anchoring of the Amethyst Pillar was November, and that's in my last video. And here we are. My refrigerator has something loose in it. It just rumbles. And so I don't know about you, but I'm finding this time very much a time of surrendering into the void, because there's so much change happening that if we were to go forward prematurely, we would not have the impact that our higher selves and our higher levels really want to have. So it's a time where the body vessel is being nipped and tucked and reorganized, reconfigured, right? It's really moving into a whole new level. And of course, all of us have different roles, right? I'm a 48 stranded imprint holder, ambassador of Divine Mother. And so, excuse me, whatever it is, the enormity and the diversity of what is carried in this vessel has a long gestation period before it gets to set sail in this dimension. So I'm still in the harbor. It's been 38 and a half years in the harbor for me. Just, a lot of healing, tons of inner work, tons of upgrading in the DNA, tons of preparing the vessel to be a powerful beacon of light during this next year, when we will see the greatest dismantling of the old structures coming soon, right? I follow Jason Estes very closely, and Jason says, this is the completion of the 2020 energies, November 28th. Maybe that's why I'm feeling this completion energy to do this video, right? The completion energies, November 28th. That's the completion of 2020. So the real 2021 energies begin December 1st. And 2021 is the year of revelation, right? Mass disclosure, uncovering everything that is not of the truth and getting it out of here, so that the new earth, with all the beautiful connections to the God world, the divine blueprint, to love, to unity, to beauty, to prosperity, the Fibonacci being pulled off of the Earth so that the crystalline grid, which is an ever magnifying, expansive, superconductive, self-feeding grid, instead of the lockdown of the fib of no chi, right, which is held the whole of our physical species, all forms, in a lockdown. So the crystalline grid returning as the Fibonacci is dismantled, and all the economic, the religious, the educational, the governmental systems will have to be completely reconfigured to match this grand design of the return of truth, the return of love, and the return of the divine blueprint in this rising earth as she rises up to sing her true song of unity. And the correctional codes begin to proliferate as the rod and staff join in sacred marriage, because all the architecture that would inhibit that sacred marriage is coming off the earth. So it's this great time when Divine Mother, Divine Father get to make love again, because all this constriction and this picture, right, showing us this grand return to unity, this ancient Mayan mother who actually, I was in the Mayan off-planet tribe when I was sent to lift the veil of Earth. And that big veil came off in March of 1995. So going all the way back to March of 1995, when the big veil that began really the lead up to our planetary ascension was 1995. Kind of amazing, yeah. And of course, we would have been in the new Earth by 2005 if 9/11 hadn't happened. That changed our entire trajectory and gave us, I always say, instead of just like a movie made for TV, we got like roots. We got a mini series that lasted 3 months long instead of like a 3-hour movie, because the Ascension timeline, the original Ascension timeline, was totally thwarted by 9/11. And as long as we're talking about planetary history and ascension, we should certainly talk about that massive turning point where we lost our ascension portal. But we're still doing it. We are the portals. We all took on way more after 9/11. All of the beings that were really here to assist took on the clearing of our inner Stargate system, because we weren't going to be able to use the elevator of our Earth Stargate system to move into 5D organic Earth. Instead, we had to clear out the Stargates of our own bodies to assist the Earth and all together achieve a critical mass organic Stargate alignment, which is where we are now. This is what we have achieved. Everyone who's still in a body on the earth, right, has achieved this and is part of this. And all those who have exited were, of course, part of this grand play. But since I'm talking to people still in a body, might as well say congratulations. Congratulations, man. It's been one heck of an enema since 2001, right? So this is kind of just a little recap of the story of planet Earth and her ascension. Let's see if there's anything else that really wants to be spoken. Yeah, just that this time is the end of the year, celebrating the end of 2020, the year of redemption, which was a kind of painful year. Kind of an amazing year too, right? It's always a mixed bag. Next year, the year of revelation. Just taking a deep breath. We've come so far. We're doing so beautifully. It's taken so much courage and so much perseverance and so much patience for those, who are guardian incarnates on Earth. The patience it's taken, the love, the perseverance, and for the whole human family. all a part of this great journey, right? This great journey home to our divine blueprint. So I do healings, I do intuitive readings, I do soul song sessions and gene key readings, and I'm here to assist as a spiritual midwife during this time. So access me if you should have the desire. You can comment here, or you can make an appointment at sarahhopeadams.com. On my home page, you can see where to schedule. All right, and I got a concert coming up on the 12/12. I was led to do a concert on the 12/12, which is a very powerful portal as well. So we'll see what happens then. Okay, bye for now. Have a beautiful day.